must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
It is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is.
It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, "He is our son and he is our thief."
If you are deviant
Yes.
and I call you leader, probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, you know, we call them the millennials and X's and Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers,
Yes.
do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa.
The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled.
Let me ask you, doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not to come here and say, I want the majority ownership, I want to own this, I want to own that, I want to do this. My goal is we all make money and we're all happy, and I help build a big business here.
Punchline is for Africa, with Africa, from Africa.
Our ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, laid out a clear agenda for reform, but despite reported and repeated warnings, no action at all was taken. So the United States took the only responsible course. We withdrew from the Human Rights Council, and we will not return until real reform is enacted. For similar reasons, the United States will provide no support and recognition to the International Criminal Court. As far as America is concerned, the ICC has no jurisdiction, no legitimacy, and no authority. The ICC claims near universal jurisdiction over the citizens of every country, violating all principles of justice, fairness, and due process. We will never surrender America's sovereignty to an unelected, unaccountable global bureaucracy.
Trump's decision to come out of ICC, which is International Criminal Court, sends a lot of signals and a lot of happiness to some of us. From time of the inception of ICC, David Matanga and others, I want to thank David Hoyle, my professor, Professor Hoyle in London. Thank you very much for mentoring me to stand firm to discuss the African question on the ICC. It is very important, therefore, for the people of Africa to understand that while you rejoice, while you want to hate Trump, Trump has made it very clear that globalization is not part of his agenda.
America is governed by Americans. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine of patriotism. Around the world, responsible nations must defend against threats to sovereignty, not just from global governments, but also from other new forms of coercion and domination. In America, we believe strongly in energy security for ourselves and for our allies.
Today, as we speak, this nation cannot be the same. This nation is paralyzed. This nation needs serious redemption, needs the building of bridges. As a result of the ICC, the anger that was flowing from one end to the other created a problem that we see here, but people don't want to admit. People wait in Africa. Trump is correct. Let's wake up. Let's have a rebirth that delivers to hope so that our people don't perish in the Mediterranean Sea. A rebirth that will bring about peaceful resolution of conflicts, like the conflicts that occur in South Sudan between Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. These conflicts don't give us any hope. These conflicts don't give us anything that is yearned for. These conflicts are a pity to Africa. We are lulled into the ICC in 1998 by Kofi Annan. America rejected ICC, stood firm and said, we can give you the money, but we shall not ratify for you because we have institutions. We have failed our own judiciary systems, but we want to be judged by another judiciary system which has no jury, it has no evidence, it has no separation of powers between the chief prosecutor and the investigative arm, and then with the prosecuting arm. That's the Africa we have.
You know, when one is asked to talk about leadership in Africa, one's mind wanders in many directions, because in the recent past, the continent of Africa has been the subject of scrutiny from many quarters. There are those who are Afro-pessimists and take the view that Africa will never realize our potential. There are those Afro-optimists who take the view that the jury is still out on the success or otherwise of the continent of Africa. I am an Afro-optimist. I take the view that this continent has had a glorious past, and that this continent has had her trials and tribulations, but her better days are in the future. There are those who, when talking about Africa, are in the habit of dealing with Africa as if it were one monolithic block. They do not recognize that the beauty of Africa is in her diversity. And indeed, when you care to undertake a geographical survey of Africa, you will be amazed at what the West of Africa offers, what the center of Africa offers, what the South of Africa offers, what the Horn of Africa offers, and what the North of Africa offers. That is the continent that we are talking about today. And we are talking about her because she continues in many ways to punch below her weight. And many are the commentators who take the view that the reason why she continues to punch below her weight is because the men and women who have had the privilege and honor to serve her in different political capacities or leadership capacities have not served her well. There may be merit in that assessment, but those who are quick to judge. Those whose only claim to fame is that they are professional fault finders must ask many questions before they judge and condemn Africa unfairly. This continent, and I remember, and if we are to judge this continent fairly, we must go back to the past and look to the past and ask about this continent. And there are many who have written about this continent. How many of you here will forget the great writings of Senegal's Ante-Cheikh Diop, who has documented in many ways the glorious past of the continent of Africa, the great kingdoms in Africa. When Europe was still in the caves, Africans were building monuments. If they were not building them in the Ashanti Empire, they were building them in Monomotapa here in Zimbabwe. And there is a sense in which all those have been consigned to the Museum of History. And those who look at Africa see Africa as a scar on the conscience of humanity, not remembering that they were themselves co-authors of Africa's misfortunes. We are the only continent and the only people in the world who have been commodified. How many of you will remember that agrarian Europe had to commodify Africa in order to realize our level of development? At one time in those early days, we will remember, even as we talk about leadership, that half of the population of this continent was taken away. If they were not taken away from Ghana, which they then christened Gold Coast, they were taken away from Angola. If they were not taken away from Angola, they were taken away from Mozambique. If they were not taken from Mozambique, they were taken from Senegal. If the Arabs were not taking us, the Europeans were taking us. If the Europeans in their different tribes were not conquering us, they were stealing from us. Those are the realities that we don't talk about when we talk about this continent. And you know, if one cares to judge the African continent, one must be historically conscious. The oldest African country after we regained our independence from Greater Chief. And the question that we must ask ourselves, why is it that this continent finds ourselves in that space? If it is not Europe summoning us, it is the United States of America summoning us. Everybody is in the business of summoning us.
Thank you very much, viewers. Good afternoon, wherever you are in Africa and in the rest of the planet, or wherever, which place on the planet you are. Thank you very much for listening and watching Punchline Africa TV. We are here this afternoon just to do a noble cause, to discuss matters that affect Africa. With me in the studio this afternoon is none other than Miriam Ogutu. Miriam, hey, I hadn't seen you properly. Now I'm seeing you properly. Good afternoon.
Oh, you walked in, I was reading the paper.
Yes, but I am not. I'm now seeing it. Excellent. Thank you very much, Miriam, for the excellent hairstyle. I like it. Thank you very much. God bless you, all of you, wherever you are in Africa. As we start talking about Africa and we start talking about events shaping the world as where we are. Most of you who have been to church, who prayed for our nations, prayed for our presidents, prayed for our prime ministers, prayed for our troops in Somalia, prayed for our troops in Central African Republic, prayed for peace in Sudan, both Sudan South and Sudan itself. They all need peace prayers. In Zimbabwe, we need peace prayers. The regime change seems to be coming closer and closer on a daily basis. We need to see how best we can avert such regime change mechanisms that go towards the countries in Africa. Those in Biafra, those in Ambazonia, the opposition yourselves, you seem to be quarreling. I am not a happy person at all because of your quarrels in Ambazonia yourselves. You are fighting an enemy, then you start hitting each other. In Uganda, what next is for Bobi Wine? And over the weekend, I heard Besigye was again arrested. So what is this? What do we want for this Africa? That is what we want to discuss this afternoon, plus the major topics in Kenya. The topics in Kenya give me a lot of stress when I started talking about them.
First of all, yesterday did you see the protest in Kiambu? I think on Friday we said we need to see the leaders, but now the residents came out to protest against the misuse of the funds in Kiambu.
In Kiambu.
Yes.
But today, the deputy president goes to Kiambu church, and we shall play exactly what he said, so that you make your own conclusion, not me one word added, whether we are actually winning this war or not. You will hear for yourselves. I will send this thing to Stephen, and he can be able to interpret, and can be able to tell us or to put it on for people to hear. It is an audio tape. When he was in church this afternoon, what he said in church this afternoon, I can as well put it maybe here if the battery is working. I don't know whether they have put it or not. I can put it here to save time so that people can listen to what exactly he was saying. But looking at the events in Kenya, corruption and the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, 40 months left.
Oh, no, it's 40.
40, yeah. We have removed 3. We are now 40 months left. I want to ask you a genuine question. Shall we achieve?
The legacy. That depends on how much speed President Uhuru Kenyatta moves, because time is of the essence as it is right now, so he better put his priorities right. That is the only way he can even achieve anything at all for the remaining 40 months.
So we are in for a shocker.
Hopefully not. A good shocker. You want a nice surprise as a good...
I'm looking for a nice surprise for my friend.
Yes.
My friend Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta should have a legacy, should leave a legacy having fought corruption. Are we there or not, Miriam? I'm asking again. Are we there or not? We have 40 months at our hands. We have hiccups, contradictions, opposition, contrary statements, defending those who are affected by corruption. The war on corruption, on finding out who has taken what, seem to have slowed down again since the president's speech, State of the Nation. What is the problem? That's it. Viewers outside there, those of you watching, let's hear what today in church in Kiambu, the deputy president was talking in Kiambu this morning. It's not our words, it is his words. And we don't want conclusions made out of contest.
Yes.
We want you to judge whether we shall win anything, any war against corruption. If this war is going to be won the way we are fighting it, if we don't go back to drawing table and find out what is this that is ailing the war against corruption. Is it that we have touched too many corrupt people, or is it that the method that we are using that is wrong? So listen to this and give me your opinion. It's an opinion that I'm interested in. I don't want any other person's opinion. I am not seeking. Oh no.
Sorry.
Mambo ya sijui Sudan, mambo sijui ya rais wa staafu. Huyu baba yao ni gavana wa Kiambu. Sina hiyo. Budget ya Kiambu hakuna mambo ya retired president. Hakuna mambo ya South Sudan. Hakuna mambo ya State House. Huyu baba yao aulizwe tu mambo ya Kiambu. Hiyo mambo ya State House na mambo ya South Sudan na mambo ya retirement ya president wa zamani, hiyo ni kazi yetu kule Nairobi na national government. Sasa mimi nashangaa hata mtu unakuja kuuliza baba yao mambo ya State House na mambo ya South Sudan na mambo ya retired president. Huyu baba yao atajuaje hiyo maneno yanaendeshwa namna gani? Na kazi yake tu ni hapa Kiambu. Hata ingawaje rais anatoka Kiambu, sio ya kwamba ati budget ya State House inafanywa hapa Kiambu. Ama namna gani? Kwa hivyo watu wasimuulize baba yao maswali ya bure. Yeye aulizwe mambo ya Kiambu County. Ile ya national government, sisi tuko na watu wengi mawaziri wa kujibu. Hiyo tuulizwe mambo ya South Sudan, mambo ya retired presidents, mambo ya State House tutajibu. Ama namna gani? Si Waswahili wanasema Biblia inatufundisha kila mtu atabeba nini? Kila mtu atabeba mzigo yake. Huyu baba yao asiwekewe msalaba ambayo sio yake. Aulizwe ya Kiambu, ile ya national government sisi tuulizwe. Kama namna gani watu wa Kiambu? Si namna hiyo? Kwa hivyo wewe baba yao usikuwe na wasiwasi. Hiyo ya South Sudan, former president sisi tutajibu. Wewe pambana na hii ya Kiambu, wewe ujibu hii ya Kiambu hapa. Taulizwa na hao na nchi, na taulizwa na wengine. Na niwaeleze ya kwamba tukienda mbele, chama ya Jubilee ndio imetuunganisha Kenya mzima. Jamii zote za Kenya ziko ndani ya Jubilee, kutoka Coast na mpaka Western, mpaka Nyanza, Central, Rift Valley, Northeastern, sehemu zote. Chama ya Jubilee imetuunganisha, imetupatia rais, imetupatia wabunge karibu 200, na tuko na serikali. Hapo ndipo tegemeo ya haya mambo yote na mipango yote ya maendeleo, mambo ya maji, mambo ya barabara, hiyo ya stima, hiyo mmesema ya kilimo. Hiyo kazi yote inapangwa kwa sababu ya chama ya Jubilee inayoongozwa na Uhuru Kenyatta, ambayo imetuunganisha sisi wote kama Wakenya. Na hiyo ndio chama ambayo sisi tutahakikisha ya kwamba watu wasituletee mambo ya kisirani na mambo ya fujo na mambo ya watu kawanyika. Sisi tutasimama imara kama chama ya Jubilee nyuma ya Uhuru Kenyatta, tuhakikishe ya kwamba ile ahadi ya barabara na maji na stima na maendeleo inatimia ndani ya chama ya Jubilee. Wale marafiki zetu wengine wote, kila mtu wako na chama yake. Kwa hivyo nyinyi muendeshe mambo yenu ya chama yenu vile mnavyojua. Sisi tutaendesha chama ya Jubilee kwa sababu ni chama ya kitaifa vile tunajua. Najua tunashangaza zingine, mtu anaendesha chama ya watu 5 ya kabila moja, anakuja kutupatia lecture kama Jubilee. Mfanya namna hii, mfanya namna hii. Sasa wewe chama yako ni ya watu 5 ya kona moja, unakuja kutapatia masomo hati ya kuendesha chama ya kitaifa kama Jubilee. Huko na ujuzi wa aina gani? Ujuzi yako ni ya kona. ama namna gani? So hiyo watu wachana na sisi, tuendeshe mambo hii Kenya iweze kwenda mbele. Na mimi nataka niwashukuru sana watu wa Kiambu hapa na Father kwa kutukaribisha, na mjue sisi ni Wakristo. Mbele ya sisi kuwa sijui wanasiasa sijui nini wafanya biashara, sisi kwanza ni nini? Ni Wakristo. Na sisi tutajipanga na kanisa. Hatutoki kanisani, mnaweza kututoa mahali ingine, lakini hapa kanisani hatutoki. Kwa sababu hapa ndio tumelelewa bwana. Ama namna gani? Baraka yetu yote tumepata tukiwa kanisani. Sasa mtatutoa kanisani namna gani? Kwa sababu kuna wengine wanapigia kelele huko, mbona Ruto anaenda kanisa, mbona ameenda kufanya nini kanisa, mbona amefanya nini kanisa. Sisi tunafanya hii ya kanisani kwa sababu Mungu ametupeleka, ametufikisha mahali tuko. Na tukikuja kanisani, hatukuji kwa sababu ya bishop, hatukuji kwa sababu ya father, tunakuja kwa sababu ya Mungu. Kama namna gani jamani? Sisi tumekuja kanisani kwa sababu ya Mungu. Hatujakuja kwa sababu ya mtu, tumekuja kwa sababu ya Mungu. Na kanisani hakuna mtu analala.
Thank you very much, viewers. That was the speech by His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, explaining in a church the role of the church, the role of Waititu and his appearance in the Senate committee investigating misappropriation of funds in the Senate. Thus, I leave it to you to make judgment, but I want you to make some comments.
I think we see the level at which church and politics are really intertwined, and it is becoming a very dangerous thing, because you go to church for some level of sanity, you go to church for some level of spiritual nourishment. The last thing you want to hear is politics. So I don't know, when the Deputy President comes in and saying the efforts of trying to separate politics from church will be futile, I don't know where he stands, and that shows the great division between him and the President. And also, secondly, why is he even commenting on what is happening at the Senate? Because that is something that is now under investigation. The same way he came out very quickly to defend the Kimaror and Errol dams, before when the treasurer, the CS for Treasury was saying one thing, he was coming in to saying the other thing, and Rotich was supporting it with documents and everything else. And right now it's still under investigations. So what is the Deputy President's take in what is happening in Kiambu now? Because let's remember that Mr. Waititu brought these documents to the Senate. He's the one who brought these documents to the Senate. So the fact that he brought these documents to the Senate committee that is investigating all counties, not just the Kiambu County, we saw Mike Sonko the other day. He was before Waititu came in, and I'm sure another governor will come in. So he should try to remember every time he goes to these public arenas and speak that he is the vice president of this country, not a tribal leader, not a community leader, not a section of... He is the vice president of this county. And the fact that him and president seems to be speaking from different sides of the mouth, I think it really worries us as Kenyans, and we wonder, do we even have a government in place that really is up to fighting corruption? Because the president seems to be saying one thing, deputy president seems to be singing a different song. So he should get off, especially this issue of Kiambu. He should stop talking about it, and let's just see how the investigations. I think the EACC has taken on the case and they're investigating the misappropriation. He should just be quiet and let the institutions that are supposed to handle this.
Thank you very much, Miriam. I think I concur with you on a number of issues. A rift within a rift sinks a war. It's a rift within a rift. We are already rifted by corruption. Then there is a rift within a rift of Jubilee Party and the government. The government speaks on two tongues.
Both sides of the mouth.
Yes, the president says we fight corruption. We help to fight corruption. The deputy president goes to church to defend people. When this matter is before the bodies that investigate, the Senate, the Parliament is being told that Waititu is a problem is not a problem. Your problem is not there. With a rift, within a rift, has sunk this war of corruption. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, because when you hear such statements, you're trying to help.
He's killed this war.
Yes.
He is.
People who are culpable will get away with it.
Yeah, he's killed the war. Yes. He's in government, and he comes out to tell people that, you don't worry about that.
Waititu brought these documents himself.
Yes.
Can you say it Kiganda way? Himself.
Yes, he did.
Himself to the committee.
Waititu carried the documents.
Himself.
Did he read the documents?
I don't even
And
know.
then you have seen some people on social media yapping the usual deleted, I don't want to use bad names, but let me say, minds derailed, yes, saying that is not the document. But when Mr. Waiguru, Mr. Waititu, left all the way carrying these documents from Kiambu, coming to the committee, did he read the documents? Waititu did not read the documents. Waititu did not ask his accountants, his chief officers, his secretary, what is in these documents. Had he got another copy which was reading different from what the Senate were reading, then we could now apportion a blame to the Senate. But these were the documents, and Waititu said, yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. Now this morning, the same government that is telling people to fight corruption, headed by the deputy president and the president themselves, the president says, we fight corruption. Jamen, don't make Kenyans kill each other for nothing.
And
if there are differences, if these guys have differences, let them sort their differences in private. Yes. But when you come out, when we are fighting corruption, when media houses, you notice that in the newspapers, since the president came out and at the State of the Nation, the media has withdrawn. All the media, they have withdrawn. They will not publish any scandal here. Yes. I'm telling the president to hear this today, and the people should not lie to him that the media is helping him to fight the war. Please, they have withdrawn. I was with several editors over the weekend. They said, no, we don't want to know. Matsanga, you stick on it yourself. Talk about corruption every morning, not us. Some senior editors who make these papers look like this. So you tell me where we are going to go, where we are heading.
And should we take Governor Waititu's word for it that these papers he doesn't know, and he just came all the way from Kiambu with them to Nairobi without even perusing through them? Then we should worry, what kind of leaders do we have in these counties? Does he understand, as a governor of a county, the mandate and the responsibility that he's been given by his constituents? The fact that he could not even take his time to go through this very important document when he was coming to the Senate committee, what is he even, is that what you call inept or what? Is he even up to the task of being the governor of Kiambu? Should he take him for his word that, this is not, this is the wrong report and all that, being that he's the one who brought it to the Senate? Then we should be worried of the kind of leaders we have in some of these
You read what David has said.
Daudi Wambuta, you're saying the questions are based on what Waititu brought to the Senate and was in order to investigate. Maybe the DP is addressing the Senate to stop its mandate. I was confused also listening to that. Like what does
I think we gave the leadership in Kenya gave wrong people. I don't understand now. Waititu carried this document. Let's investigate this and let the deputy president also come out to clean on some of these things. Yes. Because he's also causing a lot of confusion.
What does he understand?
And threats, threatening people, then confusing people. Those are serious things also. You know what? For me, I'm a foreigner. But one day I'm going to speak my mind out. And the day I'm going to speak my mind out, it is going to be a day. Let me tell you, this confusion is letting this country go down to the dogs. Believe me or not. Because if you look at Waititu carrying documents all the way from his office coming to face the Senate. Did he read the documents or not, Mr. Ruto?
He could Dr.
that. Dr. William Ruto, the Deputy President of Republic of Kenya, did he read the documents or not? If the documents were fake, who faked them? Is it the Senate that faked them? This younger generation is going to bring this country to chaos. And let's speak about it. You can have money, but you cannot defeat the age. Some of us have seen a lot of things. Now, let's sikiliza sisi. Jamen, musikie. This thing is going to bring this country to a chaos. Did Waititu read the documents or not? And why did Waititu take part in an investigation which he knew was fake? Why didn't Mr. Waititu walk out of the Senate and say these accounts are not my accounts? Why?
Why did he not address it there on the floor of the Senate?
He should have just said no. I am not going to take any questions. Clear. It seems somebody has done a mafia job on my documents. And this is free advice I'm giving to Waititu today. You could have done that. But for government to be speaking in two mouths, we are being told by the president, who is the commander-in-chief of this country, to help him to fight corruption. We are now told by the deputy president that don't worry. They have threatened the director of CID. The DCI is threatened. They have threatened. I'm telling you, you know, there are things that these guys do their things thinking that others don't know. They have threatened this guy of DCI. He might even chicken out of the job. Every day. What is it? I wonder, let me ask you, what is this problem here? We addressed the court. They used to say I was making noise about the court, isn't it? I made them noise. Mr. Maraga started working. I kept quiet a bit about Maraga because Maraga was working. Nobody was hitting Maraga every morning. It was me, hey Maraga. Until Maraga felt, what have I done to this guy? Now Maraga is working. The people don't want even reports to reach where Maraga is. Corruption fights back.
It does, and I think this paints the deputy president in a very bad light. I don't think he understands that. He is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. He should not even be involving himself with the politics of the counties, especially. What does Kiambu has to do with anything? Mr. Waititu brought this report himself to the Senate, so he should let Mr. Waititu clear his name. And when this report was they were going through, I remember watching the part of that, he did not refute on the table during the questioning. He did not refute it. Because there's something, when you go through something and this sounds very unfamiliar, you'll be like, no, this doesn't sound like Kiambu County.
Yes.
As a governor, you're supposed to know what's happening in your county.
Exactly. And I said
until he left, I don't know, went to his office. That's when he called.
No, he went down the annex
to address that.
Immediately he walked up to the office of. Yes. Can't you see now the advocate?
Yes.
He walked to the office of the deputy president to be given advice. Said that the papers were faked by some people in the State House.
He walked to where?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they are birds of the same feathers. Have you seen Waititu leaving the deputy president? In the church today they were together. The only problem which will separate them is the grave. Because in the grave, you go that way, you cannot be buried together, even with your wife, isn't it? Have you ever seen anybody buried with you?
No.
Yeah, each one is buried on different way. But Waititu should have refused to be interviewed. That's my opinion.
Yes.
And nobody is going to tell me which opinion I should take. So I come to the question. A rift, within a rift, sinks the war against corruption.
in government.
Is it true?
I think it's very true. And if the government really is very serious about this fight against corruption and winning the war against corruption, then the government should speak with one voice. It does not help when different government agencies or people who are perceived to be representing the government, when they come out and make these very careless statements, that it defeats what the president is trying to do and what other institutions that are trying to really come together and fight corruption are trying to do. It defeats that. Can they speak in one voice?
Can I tell you something that I did?
Yes.
I picked a phone over this weekend and I called the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. And I told him I'm going to say it here.
Okay.
That was on Thursday. I called the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, my good friend, Ruakana Rugunda. I told him, I'm looking for President Museveni on phone. All the numbers are going through, but one only went through, but they say he's on the farm. Because for me, if you think you talk to threaten me, I don't. I'm never threatened. That's one thing. Let these guys hear me. I'm never threatened. President Museveni himself gave me 8 numbers. 8 hot numbers. That at the end of this, you'll catch me. So I told Rugunda, my friend, you and I were in exile in 1978-79. 8, we came back together. You were in Zambia practicing medicine. This country needs everybody. Uganda. Pick up a phone. I'm looking for the president. I've rang all the numbers, but one number went through and they told me he's on the farm. He will call you back. But tell him, and I repeated, tell him, me I don't fear. I tell him, please, for goodness sake, engage the younger man. Do you know the fire that has caught up there? Everybody, even in the cabinet. You have seen in the cabinet of Uganda. There are people who have come to support my view. They said, no, we cannot have police beating up someone in front of international cameras.
For no good reason.
Every day. 6-7 ministers are with Matanga.
His ministers?
Yes, the cabinet ministers in Uganda. They are saying it open. We cannot have this anymore. And I put up a mission. You know, some of these guys say, oh, they know President Museveni. No! Some of us we know the numbers where even to find him. He's also a human being. We treat each other and I say, Your Excellency, no, this is wrong. I said, pick the phone. You are the father of the nation. Pick the phone and talk to this young man. He's 36 years old. You are 73 years old. The same we are going to do here. Yes. Let the deputy president this week wait for my phone. I think this is crossed too much a line. We are elders in age. We are not Watoli who are going to insult people. I'm not. At least what I've seen in this world, the deputy has not seen it. That's the truth. So we are going to discuss. We want to talk. What is all this? If we are to fight, if they have the problem, let them sort their problems back there. But the population is suffering. Corruption is eating everybody. I told Rugunda, do it, man. If you don't do it on Tuesday, no Monday, the president would have come back. I'm going to look for him again, even midnight, because that president of ours works up to 3. I did not look for the numbers. He gave them to me and updated them. So, if there is any problem, call. When you call, you save the situation. Then this there is a problem here.
A bigger problem.
There's a very big problem in Kenya, Jamen. And let's admit this. People watching me outside there, we need to bring sanity in government. Government needs to speak in one voice. One government cannot say, Oititu, whose mistake was very clear. He carried his papers, forged papers, or true papers, or we don't know.
That is now for EACC to find out. I think they took on the
no, even if it is
and he should go there and clarify.
Where is his accountant who signed the document?
And it was stamped with the official Kiambu
County. Didn't he see that there was a budget for the State House? Is there someone in State House who was collecting money from Mr. Waititu?
And Peace for South Sudan, 54 million Kenya shillings.
Was he buying rebels? There is a possibility that some people used to go to Mr. Waititu demanding money that the president has sent us. Could be.
From where?
They could, yes. But Kenyans and Africans don't.
But surely the president will just send people.
You saw some of the
like that.
You saw some of the guys who were saying the president has said give us 44 million 80.
You think if the president wanted to speak to Kiambu governor on such a matter, he'll
send somebody?
A stranger. He'll just call, or have him go to Harambee House and have that meeting with him and send him for what? These monies have been sent to the counties to serve the people that Waititu is leading.
Yeah,
why would the president send anybody to get him the money back?
Read the comment.
What part of that does not even make sense? So, Chuku Emeka, thank you very much, and thank you for watching.
Can I read it?
No, it's okay.
Yes. I need to read the comment because all the comments on me she reads.
I don't.
Can I read this comment, no. Miriam?
Chuku Emeka, thank you for watching.
Chuku Emeka, thank you very much.
And thank you for the kind words.
And thank you for the kind words.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just go to Zimbabwe. If you're done.
No, we are not yet done.
With Kenya, yes.
The rift within a rift.
Yes.
On peace, you are running me away from what I want. This is a Sunday. You have gone to church, you have prayed.
I had a wonderful time in church today.
You had a wonderful time?
Yes.
Bubbly. Are things going to be good for me? Because I'm the only sinner.
You're the only sinner in Jerusalem.
Yes.
I prayed for you.
You prayed for me. Can I, talking about the church, can we return to sanity? To sanity.
Church has become a political arena. We should be worried. You know that they're turning these pulpits as their rally podiums.
The question that I want to ask all of the viewers, including those who are very good, who say the church is their home instead of their houses, is this: help me as a sinner. Now, when you go to church to pray for healing, do you also tell priests that you have stolen some things? And do you also request the priest to help you return the stolen loot you have to the real owners?
Are you talking about the Catholic?
I don't know.
They go to confess.
I am asking.
Catholics confess.
I'm a sinner.
To the Father.
Mama,
to the priest.
I am an observer of this. I'm asking this question.
I also want to know.
I have asked. I've written it on my social media. You can't go there. I have written. I've asked a question.
Were you inciting a riot? Social media. What was the response?
Oh, they have gongered me. As usual, Kenyans on social media know how to gonga mutu. Yes. In fact, you must be a man made of steel.
To withstand the king.
Yes.
Okay.
The question of being hammered on social media is my profession now.
That's your breakfast, yes.
My breakfast. People came down on me. And you see, it looks like people in Kenya know who is this thief or who are the thieves. I was only writing to find out, when you go to church to pray for healing, do you also tell the priests that you have stolen some things? That's question number one. Question number two, do you also request the priest to help you to return the stolen loot? to the owners, to the real owners. How many people do that? How many people tell the priests the truth? That as I pray here, they say, Mulinya lya Katonda n'omwana n'omwoyo omutukuvu nabye ndi mubi. Yesterday I'm a thief. I stole yesterday.
And I brought you
some money here for theft. Can I now give you to return to the person I stole?
No, to cleanse it and keep it.
Yes.
I think that's what the priest.
How many of the priests hear those type of things? Keep that guessing as we go ahead. Is there a rift within the rift?
And no,
that sinks
Dr.
the wall.
Matata is not trying to incite a riot. He's just asking a genuine question. You could help him answer that.
They have answered everybody. Can I read one comment?
Okay.
Wilson Kirwa says, priests don't heal. It is God. Let us wait for the judgment day. All sins will be made known, including mine. For me, I don't go to church. So, Kirwa, you are wrong. I pray from my house. But if I'm going before someone to administer me, like Riaka Machar and Salva Kiir went to kiss the feet of the Pope, you must tell the Pope the truth. That 384,000 people perished. Unaccounted.
400,000.
Unaccountable.
Yes.
Unaccountable.
And we take responsibility.
And we now take responsibility as South Sudanese that we are commanders of these brigades that tortured, killed, maimed.
In our name.
Yeah, in our name. I want to hear that.
And we will talk about South Sudan just in a short
time. Oh, it is coming. Yes. But the Uganda thing, why I brought it, is someone needs to pick courage here in Kenya.
Yes.
And ask these questions, like I did. I said, I'm looking for the president, but I've only got him on one number, which they said, the man said is in the garden, in the farm. Call him later.
Oh, President Museveni loves farming so much.
Yeah, no, he was showing his cows. Can you bring those cows?
Yes, he has cows.
A picture of the cows of the president. He sent us a message. He sent me a message on Twitter. We have not blocked each other despite the bad fight of our...
The bad blood.
No, there's no bad blood.
Yes.
It is only that little money where some thief in his office stole it and ate it.
A middleman.
So I cannot harass him for that, and I will wait until he gets sanity. Then it orders for fresh money to be sent back to me. Because I've never received the money. Yes, this is 10 years down the road. That money is never received.
And tell him you don't have...
Your Excellency, I don't have any problem with you.
He can send it in dollars.
Yes, no, anywhere. I'm now very near, close.
Euros, okay.
He can even, he gives people for wedding 20 million, but mine is very simple money.
20 million Ugandan shillings.
I've intensified that war now. I need the money. And I have not hidden.
War against corruption or war against what?
No, war against whoever ate it must tell the president. Because I didn't touch the money.
Okay.
I've told Rugunda to tell the president I don't have the money. I never got the money. And I was the only one. Riaka is still there alive. And he's coming back as a vice president. And he has asked me whether I received that money. I never.
I hear he's back in Khartoum.
Yes, he's in Khartoum. General Dukulu told me he's in Khartoum. They are looking after him. Everywhere we are connected. Don't think we are useless. One day you will see the network. Don't worry. So let's go ahead. Don't worry. One day you will smile with that good hair in Kampala.
All right.
So let me tell you, in other words, Emeki, you are right, my brother. It is really fantastic, extraordinary, plenipotentiary tonight.
Tonight?
Today.
Let's not get excited.
You can't. I mean, I thought it was only me. It was only me who was seeing what other people had not seen.
I thought you were the only person with good eyes.
Good eyes. So someone from outside there.
I don't know why we even
so Mrs. Very, very engaging.
All right, good.
So this question of telling the priest whether you are stolen and returning some money could also go a wrong way. You know why I'm a wrong way to get corruption out of Kenya?
Yes.
Quietly. Go to the box quietly.
And confess.
And tell them, say,
my conscience is bothering
my
me.
President Uhuru Kenyatta is correct.
Yes.
I stole some money and I'm returning it. Don't tell us you like it, church. Everybody likes church. Yeah. Who doesn't? The wine, especially for me, I like that wine, wagwan. Haki, your wine ile ngine ya kunywa ile ya church, good one.
Yes.
The problem these days is that some churches, the bishops take bigger quantity than ourselves.
You know the church wine is non-alcoholic.
No, some is not.
No, it's not. It's
sweet.
It is, but it's not
very sweet.
You can take, it's like juice. You can have.
One of the things which makes me go to church when I'm in London is that moment. It's that moment when the provost of my Anglican church, Lady Mary in Surrey,
is conducting the Holy Communion.
No, she's always there.
Okay.
She wants me to go to the pulpit to speak. And I thought, no, honestly.
Yes.
When I go there, I'm a church layman.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. When you come here, you don't go to church?
No, because I go to one church, All Saints Church, only.
Next Sunday you should go for
of Osapit
service.
James. Is it James? Yes.
Osapit, yes.
Osapit. That's my bishop. That is it.
So next Sunday.
Anything to do with guitar, music, shaking this, shaking where, I leave it in my house.
In the radio studio.
In the studios here, and I can shake my body here. But the people who go to church to shake body, that church I can't go. Okay. I'm sorry.
And Collins Msehenga, you're saying, Doctor, I'm Mushenga, you're saying, Doctor, I'm inviting you to my church next Sunday. So you have.
This is Collins Msehenga is a Ugandan, I believe.
Collins, what's the name of your church, if you don't mind? We should get Bishop David to start attending church here. Yes.
No, that's it. The wine is very good.
I'll get you.
In London, yeah. A bottle. Don't bring.
And it's not alcoholic, so if
no.
Just take it as.
The one in London has some alcohol.
It does not have.
Sweet.
It is sweet.
Very sweet wine. You read. In fact, when you drink, when the provost is finalizing this, he got the cup and did it on the head.
Yes.
And then, I see the life.
You do. We had it in our church today.
The life comes back. After that wine, the life comes back.
You know,
even I go with 5
inside. That seed your father planted of a priest, it's there. However much you try to camouflage, it's
that
there.
Is the truth.
It's there.
Let me tell you,
it's very
Miriam,
evident, yes.
There is that priest thing which is in me. That after drinking that thing, I go back, I go to my car driving to go back home, very nearby. Everything is relaxed.
And okay.
Then the provost, like now I've taken some time going, she's going to call me to come to the pulpit to say a word of prayer and then tell us how was the journey.
How you've been.
No, how was the journey. This is the type of social contract that provost walks. He even gives you appointment when they are going to pass by your house.
Yes, yes.
He will pass by, have tea with you.
And check on.
Are there bishops here walking in these areas?
Yeah, depends on which church.
Which church?
Depends on which church.
Are we not looking for money?
No, not all churches look for money.
I saw 2 bishops on TV saying that it is very good to accept the money.
Yeah.
Versus Olasapiti. So, are some churches commercial?
A lot of them are commercial.
Thank you very much. The rift within the rift sinks the war against corruption.
Yeah.
Let's expand that topic tomorrow. Well, let's see.
Yes.
Can we find the rifts? Where are the rifts?
I'm sure.
Appointments. Let's see the newspapers.
Yeah. Also,
you pick one of those.
I saw.
You didn't see my name?
I saw the list.
You are waiting for my name?
Your name is here?
No, I thought you could call me.
And ask for you. You want to be an envoy?
Me?
You want to be an ambassador?
I'm not a Kenyan.
See?
Miriam,
Yes.
I'm not. The Standard newspaper in Standard is 3 minutes past 3 o'clock. Let's go straight to the Standard newspaper, the Sunday Standard. You could be raising a gangster in the house.
Yes.
Yes.
Parents should be.
We parents
should be worried.
We should be worried.
Yeah, and really get involved in our children's lives.
Yeah, when you
Yes.
tell the child that pull that trouser up,
Yes, stop walking around.
he
like a
looks
rapper.
around you and said, what do you mean you?
I mean you.
You, your son, your son calling you.
He can't talk back at me.
Anyway.
I'll crack his skull.
Let me tell you frankly, I'm happy. Your son calling you.
You'll be
But
there.
you old men, you African.
Yes.
One day my son Ephraim told me like that.
Yes.
I called him, I said, what tribe are you?
He's still alive?
Yes.
Okay, you address me like that, you'll be dead.
No. In Britain, you can't catch him.
This is the understanding in my house.
In Britain, those children who have grown up,
I
they
know.
have protection.
Even these ones thinks they have rights, they'll tell you. But here's the thing. I brought you into this world. Please understand that.
Have we lost with the church accepting money?
Yes.
With people going to clean themselves in the church?
Yeah.
Haven't we lost the plot?
We have completely. And it negates all the gains that have been made to find the fight against corruption. It negates everything.
The newspapers all over had a gangsters, 7 gangsters beating a gentleman. You saw that? They beat Mr. Omwenga. They allowed him to his house. 7 of them, huge, big guys. Some of them, you find them in nightclubs ordering drinks that cost 1 million. There's a drink that costs 400,000.
Patot.
No, a bottle.
Okay.
400 in a big club. 400,000. When I saw this guy on the newspaper, and there is the same guy, the other time he was ordering a drink of 275,000 shillings. A bottle of VS is Oxo. Is it Oxo? What is it called? That brand, anyway, you are, it is like...
I know Ketepa Assassini, I mean...
Ketepa Assassini? What is it? This is tea
Kenyan
leaves.
tea. Yes, that's all I
From
understand.
Nyamira.
Exactly, very sweet. But anyway, continue. Very sweet tea, Kenyan tea, that's all I know.
275,000 shillings. I cannot buy. And this guy paid to impress small girls who were running around, 6 of them. So when I saw him beating people yesterday, they were whipping a gentleman. You saw that tape? We can't even show it here. We have it, but I can't show it. It was very painful. Thank you very much, Mr. Alai, for bringing out some of these good things.
Creating awareness was really happening, yes.
Alai brought out, I got it from him. He sent it to me. I saw it. It was all over Twitter. how these 7 gangsters beat up a person. One man was beaten until they thought he was dead, and they were also themselves drunk.
Did they steal from him?
No, it is in their house. They called this guy, they are friends with this guy. They called him and they started beating him up. Lulled him into a house and beat him up. Say he's mouthing on them. Because one of them sells shisha, cocaine, crate, with the word, guns, what? They even had radio calls. Where do these guys get radio calls?
Like the police.
But they were caught. All of them, including that big thief, killer. Those are the people who kill people at night.
They have been apprehended by the police?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you very much, DCI, for a good job. And then we have how shrewd robbers steal from guarded warehouses. Yes. Everything is happening in Kenya. Shrewd thieves.
Very shrewd.
Very shrewd thieves.
Cunning.
Very shrewd defenders.
Of the thieves.
That he did not steal. And you saw tonight, at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., I thought the elections were suspended or something.
Which elections?
The elections of JSC. I thought they were over.
Is that the debate that will be happening tonight?
Tonight, yeah, between Gathiri Irungu, Professor Tomo Uganda, who has already bought everything. I hope he has not bought the speech therapy. He has speech therapy. So let's see today. He doesn't know how to speak.
He's a lawyer.
No!
He doesn't know how to speak.
Yeah, lawyers.
How does he defend his clients, really?
Ma'am, do you have a speech therapy?
A speech therapist?
No, speech therapy.
What is
there is speech therapist.
If you're having a speech therapist that helps you with your talk.
Yes.
If you're staggering and you're having a problem.
It's called speech therapy. Yes.
I don't need one. I was born.
No. It doesn't help. Speech therapy destroys your speech.
But for others, it has really
Ogenda
helped.
does not deliver the points.
Ogenda is a lawyer.
He doesn't. He's a lawyer.
He's been defending
Kidero. Ogenda is a lawyer.
He's been defending Kidero all these years.
Ogenda is not a lawyer. Ogenda is a gangster. No. He has eaten a lot of money. You know what? When he said he has apartments everywhere.
And the witchcraft corporate, what do you call them? Witch Doctors Association?
Association of Nairobi. He represented them without them knowing.
That person is shrewd. Doesn't require a speech therapist.
The only person here I see, I don't know much about Mr. Ogoto. I know much about Machari and Jero. Yeah. I don't know much about, I know about two, Professor Ogenda and Machari and Jero. Macharia was in the police. Apoa, is it Apoa?
Apoa,
Yeah, he fixed some people.
He did.
At least you could, some police were charged. There was discipline. Some people feared for you to appear before Apoa. You know your job is is gone.
At stake, yes.
So he can bring some sense. Other than having Ogenda who is only fixing cases.
Okay, so that is something we look out for tonight.
Tonight,
yes.
At 8. Unfortunately, these STV stations are not working properly. I don't know why. Is yours working? It does freeze. What is this freeze?
I have two decoders. I do not have that problem.
Oh, it is me who was... Oh.
So I can switch
to the local Go. I also have, but the one I have, which I watch, is in the I want to watch while resting.
Okay.
The one in the sitting room, I can't leave the sitting room to watch.
Okay.
I have also. Yeah, but not in the same.
Okay.
Maybe I'll install my own TV this time, my own decoder for Punchline, which is coming at the end of this month.
Okay, that's
a special decoder to see this. The channels are about 87. So that's you can enjoy for free forever.
International channels.
Yes,
and
international evening.
And it's a one-off.
Yes, it's a one-off.
Good, that's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And let's see what Makao Mutua wrote. Usually, he makes our Sunday lovable.
What is Atwali saying there? Oh, he's wishing all Muslims. They're starting Eid tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
The month of Ramadan starts tomorrow.
We are going to wish them the same.
Yes, at the end of the show.
Okay, Makao Mutua says we must speak about debt and sovereignty. Yeah, he must have been watching our topics the whole of this week.
Before it's too late.
Yeah, before it is too late. Because things seem to be...
He's worrying you're about to be sold off or what?
We might be sold off.
We need to read that and hear what Makao Mutua is saying.
It says...
I don't have time to read that.
The pigs are feeding at the trough and are selling the country. Hey! The pigs. And they're selling the country down the river. In the meantime, the Chinese are laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah. Makao Mutua. There are people that are, whose things are, trust deficit in the Jubilee regime is sky high and growing.
The trust deficit.
Deficit. Hey. Okay. Let me read another one from Professor Peter Kagwanja.
Yes.
I always see what they write.
He writes very good pieces.
Nice pieces?
Yeah, he does.
He does?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a critical thinker.
The good thing with Professor Kagwanja is that he acknowledges where he has got some material. Unlike some people wanna gonga to. Kenya's brand is shining, but ethnic nationalism haunts it. Exactly. Thank you very much, Professor Peter Kagwanja, for this ethnicity.
He's our greatest enemy as Kenya, yes.
The brand is very good. When people run outside and get medals, we get the hooray!
We're all Kenyans at that time.
Yes, but come home.
Go back to a tribal cocoon.
People will tell you, go to Uganda! It is not a brand, Professor, now. It has become, it is not ethnic nationalism.
Yes.
It has become xenophobia. Yes. Go home. Go home. Go home. I wish God told us out where to be born.
If you had a choice.
Yes.
But you also, you understand God does not make a mistake, so you should thank him.
So he put us where we are supposed to be.
Where he thought we were supposed to be. Yeah.
Opendo. Kwendo opanga.
Kwendo, yes.
It is clear now. Handshake, a blow to constitution for personal gain. I don't want to talk about Baba now. I always like Baba since March last year.
Since March 8th?
Yes.
Okay.
Instructions were very clear. You stick on the...
There were instructions. Cartel Davico, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. You're saying...
Of course there were instructions.
I want to
We have to have instructions. You can't, honestly, you can't now run without instructions.
Okay.
The train will kill people. Yeah.
So Cartel Davico, one of our viewers here, is saying, I want to promise all of you watching here, Malema will be the president of South Africa. I had a vision last night, 100%, and the other vision I had is Kiambu governor will resign for being highly corrupt. These are true visions I saw. We're having a prophet here.
Cartel Davico.
Yes.
Yeah, Malema is... Malema was put in a very proper position to destroy
NSC.
Yeah. ANC.
ANC, yes.
And he has destroyed ANC. You see the politics which is happening.
Has he destroyed ANC, or ANC has destroyed itself?
No,
he has finished by the high level of corruption.
He has finished it.
That even its previous leaders have been involved.
Because he's pulling out and then pointing fingers at ANC. Shows and exposes ANC. Underbelly. Okay. He's finished it. It's a strategy. It's a strategy by the British, by the French. That's a French strategy. Don't be shocked that Malema is funded by even France. Where does he get the money? Have you ever asked where Malema gets the money that he uses?
And the elections, of course,
he doesn't have shops, he doesn't have mines, he doesn't have... Where does he get the money? He hasn't written any books that he can get money from the rights. Where does he get the money? Africans should start, especially South Africans, they should start querying Malema's money issue. Where does it come from?
So the elections are coming in 3 days' time, on 8th of this month?
Yes.
Yes. So Wednesday.
ANC will win.
But there have been a lot of defections.
Yes, ANC will win, but with a reduced majority.
And that will be a problem for President Ramaphosa.
Yeah, Ramaphosa. He will need the other parties to pass several motions. I've summarized it for you. Write it down and a note.
Yes, indeed, and of course that is a story that we'll be following very keenly from tomorrow, and we'll be keeping you up to date. And even the trends of voting right now, the younger people in South Africa were worried, who had a lot of trust in the African National Congress Party in South Africa, but after the many scandals that really has engulfed the ANC, and especially with the former leader Jacob Zuma and all that. So the younger generation are like, no, this party was supposed to take us past appetite and take us to the promised land, and they feel as though ANC has failed them in that regard. So they were confused. A lot of them, I was watching some interview, they're like, we're not sure, ANC, not sure. So they're leaning more towards the DA, the Democratic Alliance, and the EFF. So they follow each other like that. The ANC still leads with a very narrow majority, and then the DA comes second, then the EFF party for Malema. So that is something that we'll be looking for. And Katel Deviko, thank you so much for sharing with us your vision and your thoughts. And that is a story we'll be keenly following, even as they gear up for the elections on Wednesday. That is the 8th of May. So we look at the other stories making that we have today on the Africa Showdown.
President Museveni, when we reach there, President Museveni has penned something very great here, which he has just sent, as if he was listening to me now.
Maybe he is in his garden.
He writes, his English is exactly more or less around like the way he writes things.
The way he talks or the way he thinks?
It's not like me.
Okay.
So we Ugandans have a special way of writing. Greetings. I'm sure, dear Ugandans, and especially the Bazukulu. This Bazukulu means grandsons. But grandsons like Bobi Wine.
Grandchildren, yes.
Hey, Bobi Wine is a grandchild.
Okay, good. To President Museveni.
Or the president, or his son. So this is very good. He has written on how you can hold a public meeting.
Oh, and he writes very long letters.
Yes, Matanga.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Can you make it on
He started political science. No political scientist writes short memo.
He really takes his time.
Yes, short memos are for doctors, clerical officers,
yes,
lawyers. Lawyers don't write long essays.
No.
Yeah, but political scientists tend to, especially when you have studied a subject called mass communication. Yes.
Okay.
Let's take a break of 1 minute. What do you think?
All right, so we're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we look at Zimbabwe. Is regime change possible? Cameroon, division and confusion. Is that a danger to Ambazonia? And also South Sudan, slow pace towards peace and reconciliation. And we have the latest from the meeting that ended, the IGAD meeting that was shared by IGAD between the two factions. Yes,
by the way,
in South Sudan. We'll talk about that.
Oh, the animals are there.
President Museveni's animal. And
yes, we missed them. There you are. When I called, he was on this farm. He said, they said he's in the farm.
Yes.
He will call you back. Yes, he was there. Yeah. You know, you have to solve these things direct. Hakuna mambo ya, you know, people those days, when you are in exile, they say, oh, the president has sent us. But now, if you sent you to do what?
Twitter has made it easier. You can just get the president.
You talk to the president direct. You write here, you say there are some people here threatening me.
And they refuse your money. And you can take care of that. And also we'll look at Sudan and
are you laughing at me?
Is a showdown looming? We'll give you the latest and what is happening between the military and civilian body that has been set to oversee the country until the next elections. And of course, Uganda, Dr. Matsanga has already talked about that. Maybe we'll just run through it on the tail end of the show. So we take a short break.
And you take care when we return.
All right.
Yeah, not me. We discuss Africa. We see what ails Africa. And today, this afternoon, we want to see whether Sudan will permanently remain a sick child of Africa. Is it a permanent sickness? Can we resolve the issues of Southern Sudan? Is it something that has gone wrong for 200 years? There has always been a problem in Southern Sudan, in that great region, starting from all the way the Alimadi Wars and the rest of all what happened until today. Peace seems to be elusive. Why has UN taken slow action? Why hasn't UN set up a tribunal? We want to see a tribunal that will make sure that Southern Sudan people are accountable. Those who committed crimes against the human beings. 20,000 Sudanese perished. They are perished. They are not accountable. Nobody can account for them. And we cannot sit here, go on hammering peace agreements without mechanisms of accountability. If we set a tribunal for Sierra Leone, for Rwanda, for Camera Rouge, we need somebody to stand up for the poor masses, the masses that have died, the masses that continue to die, the masses that are being brutalized, murdered, maimed on a daily basis by marauding armies of both Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. There must be an accountability. You are not going to sit here and tell people there is no accountability in Southern Sudan. There must be a tribunal. Why do we run to harass countries of Kenya, put ICC on Kenya, put ICC on this country, put ICC on Central African Republic? Why have we delayed on putting a tribunal for Southern Sudan to find out who is killing, who has been killing, how they have been killing people? Let me speak for the people in Southern Sudan, the women, the children who have not gone to school, the children who have no medicine, the children who have nothing, who have been running since 2013, and the war cannot end because of two people. Let them face the tribunal. I'm not going to keep quiet as a Pan-African to see Southern Sudan being maimed, being tortured, being cut, dismembered. And we keep quiet and watch people got images of people, of malcontents singing to us in Uganda, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, in South Africa, telling us they have money. Let them face the international tribunal and tell the tribunal who gave them the guns, where they buying them, how they were killing people. Enough is enough. Enough is enough for Africa. We have had enough. There is no need of that anymore. Enough is enough. And if people have died, they will not cry. We people who are left on planet Earth must cry for them. We must find justice for them. We must make sure that there are leaders who go on bragging on television stations all over the world, who are accountable. They must be behind bars.
Welcome back. This is the Africa Showdown. The date is on 5th May 2019. And of course, thank you so much for keeping us company. We've done about an hour and a half of the show. And now we want to look at the major topics we had in the first hour and a half. We've been looking at the news making headlines in Kenya and really trying to dissect the heart of corruption and how it has affected the different sectors in the country, and especially the counties. A very downing report that from Kiambu County that we saw last week, that the Kiambu governor actually presented to the Senate committee, that has raised a lot of uproar in the country, and we looked at that. And so now I want us to look at Zimbabwe and, of course, 4 more countries, I believe. And on Zimbabwe today, we wanted to know, is it possible what we see happening in Zimbabwe today? Is it a very well calculated regime change? Dr. Matsanga, from where you stand, what do you think is happening in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. As you know, I'm one of the few people who have stood up to defend Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe for the last 17 to 19 years had sanctions. Sanctions were labeled on Zimbabwe, targeted sanctions on the systems, on the government, and some institutions in Zimbabwe were not able to function. Until 2017, when the first change of government from 1980 to about 2017, Mugabe was removed in 2017, I believe so, and elections were conducted in 2018 in July, I believe so, and the court put its verdict on the elections, that although there were a few errors, they did not mar the outlook of the entire election. Therefore, from that day, the opposition in Zimbabwe should have acknowledged the ruling of the court and gone home to plan, to assess, to engage itself, to discover what happened and where they went wrong. But what has happened in Zimbabwe right now is, instead of the opposition going home, the opposition decided to go to work to create a parallel government, a government that will actually oppose whatever the Supreme Court said. Many people have been rounded up. Many people fell victims at the beginning until they abandoned the entire exercise. But the opposition leader has not kept quiet. He has kept on telling people that we shall come back. We shall come back, and we will see. So this shall come back is worrying quite a lot of not only him, but every African, knowing what has taken place in Khartoum and other places. It's most likely that there will be quite a lot of skirmishes that could lead to people coming on the streets. Zimbabwe is a country that has suffered in the hands of God. And God has directed Zimbabwe, told them to remain resilient. During these days of the sanctions, Zimbabwe stood high, remained hopeful that when President Mnangagwa comes to power, he would change quite a lot of things. Indeed, the change has been coming, but slow, given that 19 years or so of regime change, targeted sanctions by the French and by George Soros, you find that Zimbabwe cannot come out of the web. You finish this one, George Soros brings this one. You finish the European Union, the Americans are on your place. If you see the events taking place in Venezuela today, compare them to what is being planned for Zimbabwe, you would wonder why America would like to destabilize such a country in the middle of Southern Africa, with all the racial tensions and the connotations that are in that region, and across the Limpopo in South Africa. As some person has predicted, the elections could come in a different format. Malema could surprise a win, which I believe it can't happen. But you never know with elections which have got French operatives behind it. You can't know whether they have already cooked their results before it comes out. But when you look at all this, what does it tell you about Zimbabwe? It tells you that Mnangagwa is on his own. That Mnangagwa seemed to be a victim of international conspiracy. That here I am, I came back, I did concessions, I have given concession to investors to return to make Zimbabwe workable. I have given concession to industries, to mining companies, return and make Zimbabwe workable. The people in Europe continue to stick, or America sticks on one point of saying the elections were not free and fair. And yet in America itself, the president of America, Trump, is under siege. People are accusing him of having used the Russian oligarchy to fix an election and to hack into the opponent's campaigning machinery, thereby rendering it very unworkable for the democracy of United States. So it is a wait and see situation in Zimbabwe that it might come out of what it is fighting against, but the regime change seems to be gathering pace. Why is the regime change gathering pace? It's because of the economic hardships. A country without an economy, a country without money surplus, a country without food surplus, a country battered by cyclone and a country battered by disease, cholera, and other diseases that come in at once and destroy a certain population. That country cannot stand the test of times. It needs help. It needs an injection of a new strategy, a strategy of an economy working. If the economy was working, whatever we say, whatever we want to do, people will still admit and keep to the center line that at least there is hope in the shops, at least there is hope in the streets, in the industry, in the hospital, there is medicine. But at the moment as we speak, hope is slowly returning. But how slow, and if it can run at the pace which is coming fast, the regime change paces. Two factors work on Zimbabwe. The question of George Soros funding an opposition and through Open Society Foundation. The nations surrounding Zimbabwe should be able to help in making sure that Zimbabwe does not slide into the chaos. Another factor that has arrived in Zimbabwe is the question of insurgency. There seems to be someone planting an insurgency, cells of people who can terrorize and kill people, then turn on the government to say the government is not able to protect us. If that happens, then we have another guerrilla warfare that act where some parts of Zimbabwe becomes ungovernable. But at the moment, the opposition is out calling for people to be prepared, and it has given warning shots that it could conduct a mass uprising like the one that happened in Khartoum.
Okay. All right, so I think we'll just move on to the next country, which is in Ambazonia, and there seems to be a lot of division and confusion in the leadership of Ambazonia. They seem not to be speaking in the same voice. Well, how will this affect their fight for freedom and the independence that they're looking for?
First of all, my brothers in Ambazonia, you have disappointed me. And I'll write a letter which I will publicly publish by Wednesday. I stood by you and I will stand by you. But the type of divisions, for the last 3 years, my television station has been at the forefront to open up and highlight the difficulties, the dangers that the people of Ambazonia face. As usual in a struggle like this one, where some of us have taken part in struggles, there is bound to be recrimination. Recrimination comes at the final stage towards climbing Mount Everest and conquering the highest peak. There will be quite a lot of people falling over the cliff to die, but you must persevere. I don't know why the people of Ambazonia are not persevering to reach and get rid of Paul Biya out first. Then the question of other things will come later. There is no need of power struggle today. There is no need of struggling for power because you have not got it. You still have an obstacle. Mr. Biya has not been called by his maker. He's still in power. He still gives instructions. He still writes instructions. Why do you struggle and then you leave your people divided? You have a struggle to maintain the fight against Paul Biya, 89-year senile man, ruling from his lifestyle system, supportive system, must leave. So the president there of Ambazonia wrote a letter to assure people that there is only one acting leadership. Because everybody now, when you are about to climb and reach the apex of Everest, everybody wants to make his picture that he will be seen on top of Mount Everest. So that scenario can bring about a lot of havoc on already traumatized population.
And that will work against them.
Yeah.
So it is important that the Ambazonia leadership, they unite and for the common goal of seeing that they achieve their goal of being independent. So I think that is very clear. So quickly we move to South Sudan. And of course, South Sudan's ruling and opposition parties agreed on Friday to give themselves 6 more months to form a unity government as part of a peace deal they signed in September last year, the regional group IGAD said in a statement. And also, just part of that statement, the parties identified lack of political will, financing, and time constraints as the major challenges that have delayed implementation of the pre-transitional tasks, and underscored the need to ensure that specific pending tasks are adequately funded with a clearly set out and reasonable framework. So that is just as part of the statement from IGAD. What's your thought on that? But they both agreed on 6 months extension.
I told you. Didn't I tell you 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That Riek will not come.
Riek never showed up at the meeting.
No, he was there, but I said Riek will not return to Juba.
But he, to Juba. Yeah, but he made that statement also, I think, when they were at the Vatican.
Yes.
Yes.
He made a statement, and I know him. I know how hardened he is. This peace process of South Sudan is a video.
Unfortunate drama.
The drama video, yes. It is. They went to the Pope. The Pope blessed them. How long does it take, apart from the security concern that I can buy, I can buy in that. But how long does it take for them to form a government? They have all the people on the data and everything with them.
So 6 months, are they justified to even want this time? And what will this do to the peace process in itself?
Can I tell you what? For Sudan to have peace, let them go to the Security Council.
Are we giving up on the case? Are we giving up on the peace, the side?
Which peace?
The kiss that they received
You wait.
that gave us hope.
Wait here.
Finally.
Wait. You are still here with me.
Yes.
It won't take long before you hear guns have erupted.
In South Sudan?
Yes.
There's still bullets are being fired in some parts of South Sudan.
Yes.
So you're saying more will erupt in different parts of South
No,
Sudan?
the same group. They have no trust at each other.
Yes.
They have no trust. They do a public relations exercise, but the trust is missing.
At the expense of very innocent lives at
Yes.
stake. Very unfortunate matter there. But also on Friday, President Salva Kiir lifted a state of emergency imposed in 2017 in 5 northern states of the country, South Sudan Radio reported, in a bid to help foster peace. So President Salva Kiir seems to be, he wants to look like he's doing something towards finding this lasting peace that has been very elusive in South Sudan. And so on Friday, he lifted this ban that has been imposed, state of emergency that has been imposed, that was imposed 2017 in 5 northern states. And so I don't know how that will contribute to finding a peace in South Sudan. So maybe South Sudanese, the ones you're watching me right now, you could help us understand what this might impact the whole peace process in South Sudan. And of course, the meeting that happened on 2nd and 3rd in Addis Ababa that was hosted by IGAD, President Kiir was not part of the meeting, but he sent one of his trusted ministers to represent him. But I believe Mr. Riek Machar was part of that meeting. And so it seems that 2 sides agreed that indeed they require 6 more months to form a unity government. And this just throws the whole peace process in jeopardy. But it is understandable that indeed structures need to be in place so that when Machar returns, he needs to feel secure. Apparently, his security is compromised. And so shall break. Gabriel, you're saying Juba government need only Dr. Riek alone without troops. All right. And of course, last week also President Kiir, I think, met with different factions of the armies, and he was trying to tell them, you know what, maybe we need to unite and form one army for the South Sudanese. And so that is also something.
Can I pose a question? Then why was the Pope kissing these people?
To help them come together, I suppose.
So it means what the Pope did did not work.
Maybe they raised that issue of, you know what, it will, but it might require some time. Because immediately after the kiss, Machar gave an interview and said, okay, fine, I'll return. But 6
months from now will be October.
When Brexit also.
Yes.
So you have 2 major things to look for in October, the Brexit issue on 31st of October, and now also the peace deal in the unity government that is expected to be formed in 6 months, hopefully, because it was supposed to happen on 8th, the same day South Africa having the elections. I don't know, but we're just praying and hopefully maybe it will work. We'll just keep an eye on that.
Where?
In South Sudan. In South Sudan. We can't just give up. We've come a long way, especially as Kenyans and the rest of the African countries around.
Can I
South
tell
Africa.
you what?
Yes.
Why don't you let's talk about something else.
Okay.
There is no peace that can be in a black man's country.
John Paul, are you agreeing with that? You're saying peace in black nation, we still need white power somehow. The same people we condemn, what's wrong with black people? Yeah, I know, I'm confused too. All right, so
we have our correspondent.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We Dr. Mukhtar Ali Mukhtar. Good up. Fine, thank you, Dr. Ali Mukhtar.
How are you?
Hi, is Khartoum.
Yeah, Khartoum is fine. Khartoum is fine. The weather is fine now.
Yes, now, before we come to Khartoum, since you are an expert in that region of the entire Sudan as it used to be, what are your takes on the peace process of South Sudan?
Yeah, the peace process now has been, they have been extended the date supposed to be the formation of the government on the 12th of May has been extended for another 6 months because of the lack of the security arrangement and then the preparation of
of forming national military forces.
Is that all that made it to be postponed?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues, especially the finance for the implementation, as the Troika and the international community has refused to give any support of finance for this implementation to be met for the peace of South Sudan.
Why?
Because they were saying there is oil money. The government should use the oil money for that.
Why has the international community refused to fund the implementation of the peace agreement, yet peace is very paramount in the world?
There's a lot of things that has come up when last year the security advisor to Trump and the Treasury Department of the U.S., when they said we should not take the money from our taxpayers and then pay for these the corrupt leaders. This was a clear statement from them. They said we cannot support this government who is using the money to fight his own citizens.
All right, and switching sides, coming back to Khartoum where you are, because that's our next subject, which was on Khartoum. There is a looming showdown between the civilians on the streets and the military. Is it true?
Yeah, there was a tension in Niala. That was in Niala in the western Darfur. That was in western Sudan, in Niala side. There was some clash between the demonstrators yesterday and then with the military. And what is happening in Khartoum is still, those demonstration is still going on in the front of the military headquarters. And they're still demanding, because they have been engaged in many meetings with the military council so that they can form the military civilian council together for the military to hand over the government to the civilians. This is what is happening. Yesterday in Congress, they have passed a resolution supporting that the civilians should take over the government. So that is another indication of the international community not believing in the system of the military this time.
So thank you very much. Miriam has some questions.
All right. Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead, Miriam.
Good afternoon, Doctor. So I'll just take you back a little while. You talked about South Sudan and how the international community has refused to fund the peace process now in South Sudan. Is it because you think, from what I gathered from the statement, maybe they saw maybe these two leaders are not really sincere in their effort of finding a unity government in South Sudan?
There's a lot of mistrust in these things, especially with the leader of the IO opposition, which is SPLM in opposition, led by Dr. Riek. And he's really, he has said it when they were in Rome together, that he is not coming to Juba until the security arrangement is there in the proper way, because he's getting back to 2016 when the J1 clash happened, and then it was chased away from Juba to Congo border. So he don't want these things to happen again. So he was looking for his protection more than anything else. So that is why he refused for this formation of the government on the 12th of May. So he demands for the extension of this formation of government for another 6 months, so that they can be able to train the military as a national army, and then the security that is going to guard them as presidential candidate or presidential personnel, and then all the officials that are going to involve in these things from the other parties who have signed the agreement. So that is why the extraordinary of IGAD was conducted in Addis concerning this peace implementation. That was 2 days peace negotiation and peace process to review what is happening, and they came out after the 2 days negotiation, 2 days debate. So they agreed that to extend this the information of government to until the 12th of November 2019.
Okay, and just the last question on that. I believe the bigger picture here are the citizens of South Sudan. Do you think by the extension, the 6 months, the South Sudanese disappointed by the delay of the peace process, because it was supposed to happen this month, actually, on 8th, I believe, and the extension, the 6 months extension, has it been a disappointment to them once again?
The big challenge is going to be finance. I think the big challenge is going to be finance. If there is finance available for them, as they have promised themselves, they are going to get this finance before the 12th of May so that they can start, because 6 months is going to start from the 12th of May until 12th of November. So now 8 months has finished without doing anything, without even, yes, there's many committees have been meeting in Juba and other places, but this formation of or training of the military or training of the security personnel so has never take place until today. So that is why they say the security arrangement is placed. So they should not announce the government while the first vice president, who is going to be sworn in the new government, is still out. So, and there's other parties who have not signed the agreement, has not participated in these things. I think the 6 months can give them a chance for them to be part of the peace process in these 6 months. So government has to engage them in other opposition so that they can end the war in these 6 months, and then let other people, the other groups who are outside, to come in to be part of the peace process and the dialogue together. All right,
Dr. Ali Mukhtar, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We appreciate.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I listened to all the questions that Miriam was giving you and sending to you. Very fantastic. But let's pray for you that peace holds in South Sudan. 2, let's pray for you that there is no military showdown between the generals and the civilians.
There's no showdown.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. We shall be back with you tomorrow. We have not forgotten you at all.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah.
There you are.
And of course, the Sudan.
I missed some points.
You missed some points.
Because I was trying to see that the church sinner has not arrived.
Okay, and just before we leave on that, you know, Sudan's public prosecutor has ordered ousted President Omar al-Bashir to be interrogated on charges of money laundering, financing terrorism, as hundreds of thousands of protesters continue with their sit-downs. So Sudan's public prosecutor wants Bashir to be interrogated.
Yeah. That's not a problem. They have exhibit.
Yeah, the money.
The money is there.
Yes,
they want.
Yes.
Was it his salary for 29 years?
His pension. I don't know.
No, his salary. It could be.
For 29
He has
years.
been 29 years in power and he has been getting dollars.
And keeping it in his house.
Yes.
Money laundering.
Yeah,
and now he's facing that.
He can be charged for money laundering, but it is his money.
Much money in the house.
So we don't know whether he will escape the money laundering charges.
Yes.
Let's wait and see. Tene Peach John, greetings from Australia to you, Sister Miriam and Dr. Matanga. It is never a disappointment to the people of South Sudan. Thank you very much, Odiambo.
All right, thank you so much. And Tenny Poch, greetings to you too, and thank you for watching us.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, that is something that we'll be looking onto. So it's another extension of 6 months, but both sides agree, so we'll see how that will play out.
6 months? I told you. I said, if they delay 6 months, the truth is that there is no security. And the two men hate each other. They need a formidable arrangement that can keep their troops at bay.
and bringing the troops together is not a good option right now?
No, the troops there's still acrimony. First of all, there is need for sensitization. Africa, we don't sensitize, we don't do DDR. If they don't do DDR involves lessons to teach all the people what is supposed to be done. You know, we are not just going to get troops. The other group were killing this other group, and this group was killing this other group. So if you just tell them to come in together, it can be a very bad mistake.
They need therapy, I think, to just bring their mind to a level where they can agree.
Yes.
They can meet in the middle. And
I don't know whether it will happen.
Stop looking at each other like the enemy, because I think that is what is happening right now, the acrimony that you mentioned. So, delicate situation there surrounding the South Sudan peace deal, and of course the new development from Sudan, and that is a story that will be following in the coming week, and we will give you the latest as we continue to receive the details. And Uganda, I think we already talked about that.
No.
The Bobi Wine story. I think what next for Bobi Wine? And right now he came out the other day and he was very critical of Museveni following, and he's now of the obstacles. He really does not. He's objecting the recent Supreme Court hearing that lifted the presidential age limit. He's not very happy about that. He's really he will get under President Museveni's skin again. So he came out during an interview a few days ago and he said a presidential age limit is not even a conversation, term limit.
Let me tell you about this Uganda thing. The presidential term limit will hurt the president of Uganda when it comes to East African community. When we come to East African community, who is to lead the commission, there will be conditions laid down. Believe me or not, one of the conditions is observance of democratic rule of law
and governance.
Yes. So, if I were President Museveni, I would look at the term limit, or not the term limit, age limit, as one obstacle that could stop President Museveni's being the president, the first president of the commission, which must take place next year. Because many people in courts in Kenya and other places will go under, in Tanzania, they will file applications. And that could actually bring down the president. I think the president has not seen people who advise the president, those who cheated my money, continue to advise the president in Uganda in a wrong way.
They're the chief advisors.
Yes. Okay. They are not seeing the point. The point here is not the age limit. The point that the people, the lawyers, Mabilizi, and others want to make is very clear. They are trying to bring the president to East Africa international community, to the East African region, where rules of becoming the chairperson of the East African Commission, the first commission that will be set where you become the president of East Africa, in terms of the protocols of East Africa, Arusha, and all these protocols we have signed, common market, trading together. That rule, that term limit, age limit, could actually shift focus, and the people would want to look for a candidate who does not have what we call in Uganda a kamogo. Mogo means something bad.
A baggage of some sort. A baggage of some sort.
A baggage. Okay. So the president should look at this. Yes, the term limit has been removed by the people, the parliament, but there are so many political ramifications that could come when it comes to East African leadership. Because here we shall have young democratic leadership that changes leadership every 5 years. You see? That is one problem we have. Kenya changes leadership. We have no problem with there. Tanzania changes leadership. We have no problem there. Sudan is in a fight left and right. We don't know when their term limits will come to start, or will start when. So this, whoever is framing this motion is to bring it for further discussion, that if we are looking for African integration, can we look for African integration with a background where you are littered with so many difficulties, where somebody will cite the question of age limit, extension of non-constitutionalism, the shrinkage of constitutionalism, the spirit of shrinking the constitution would actually play. I'm now reasoning like a political scientist. I don't know whether Ugandans out there, like the spokesman of the president, of State House, media spokesman, press secretary, whether you are listening, you better take these notes, because you are very young and you run very quick, you run everywhere. Take notes and advise accordingly, because what is going to happen here, the president has a chance to stand and become the first East African president, but he could be hampered by so many Wamutatas, because it will be in the court of East African Community Court of Justice.
It will be open for any citizen.
Yes,
in East African community.
Any citizen in East Africa can file an opposition, a petition of refusing to take part under the East African Community, not to take elections until this type of anomaly is sorted out. So it will be after East African judges. Of course, no judge, like now if we are going to the European Union, we have several judges on the panel. People want openness, transparency, rule of law, order. But if you are going to come, you have already vunja the constitution. Umevunja, kuvunja kabisa. Umevunja, munatoa ile things that keep constitutionalism in check. That's where the problem is. So whoever is the president, Museveni's advisor on media and other things, and the strategists, political strategists, who look at read the East African Charter on the selection of the commission president. What will it look like? What do people want? It is like African Union selecting General Assisi, who has invaded Libya, and then he wants to call people in Khartoum, in Cairo, to discuss. Yet it is General Assisi and the United Arab Emirates and United Arab Emirates, yes, who gave arms to General Khalifa
Haftar, yes,
to enter Tripoli, to kill the government, run over, slaughter people. And this is General Assisi.
The US, have you noticed, has been very quiet on the Libyan matter?
Yeah, after talking to him, they gave him arms.
When he went,
they allowed him to go and kill people and destroy Tripoli.
But you think they'll be supporting the United Nations?
They are the same members of the Security Council. Look at that.
It's a mess.
France is the same member of the Security Council that voted to give the government in Tripoli legitimacy. African Union is the same member of that voted to give the Libyan-led Tripoli government legitimacy. But what is happening now is that General Assisi is the man who is the chairperson of African Union. But his troops and his logistics, planes that are bombing Tripoli are coming from both the Mediterranean Sea ship, of the French ship, and from Cairo and the other sides of the bases in Alexandria. I don't sleep. I don't. I sleep looking for this information. I wake up at night 4 a.m. I'm looking for all these facts to put to the world that is this the world you want? Is this the Assisi that you talk about? General Assisi at home has broken the constitution to rule until 2032. Is this the chairman of a democratic institution that claims to be running and overseeing other people's elections? Mm-hmm. In the Democratic Republic of Congo case, Tshisekedi was shunned on the instructions of Mahati Faki that nobody should go to witness the swearing in of Tshisekedi.
But then he was elected as one of the deputies in his
yes.
first AU summit.
So as soon as we reached the AU,
yes.
Tshisekedi Congo slot was open as one of the vice chair. Mm-hmm. And here is Mahamat Faki had instructed all African presidents
not too sure
that the election in Congo was not properly done.
I think on that really AU did a very big blunder.
It shows that the AU is commanded by a non-African party state actor, a non-African state actor. And that non-African state actor is called France. It is bombarding Tripoli. And we have recognized the government in Tripoli. Why are we killing the government in Tripoli? Why have then everybody in the world pick rebels? Let's all pick guns and go and fight our government. Why have we accepted General Khalifa Haftar to go and kill people in Tripoli? AU, wake up. Mr. Haftar, Mr. Mohamed Faki, wake up. You have sold us to the French. We are where? We are now slaves. We ran away from the slavery, but you took us willingly to France. You sold us, you got your millions, you are going to use it for the campaign in Jamena against President, another thief called Idris Deby, who steals money, who even is bribed. You know, in Africa we have thieves, well known. The man who gave them bribes has been sentenced. And they are waiting. Americans are waiting. If you say you are not a thief, step there now. Step there.
And of course,
don't tell us that you are not a thief. You get a plane. Let me give you a free ticket. I will sell my shirt. And I give you a free ticket. Fly. There are some people in this region who threaten people. Fly there now. Fly to America and come back. Kenya Airways is here. I can give a ticket on Kenya Airways for free for some people to fly into America and then call us that they are returning. We told you time will catch up with you. We told you. You know there are some people in this African continent who will regret.
And also we can't forget the meeting Mr. Assisi had before he was elected, before the 32nd summit of the AU, he was elected as the chairman. He had with the French president, Macron, where even President Omar went to Egypt to meet...
Can I tell you the truth?
It's not lost.
Can I now say the truth and the people in Zimbabwe hear me? Let people in Zimbabwe, let people in Sudan, let people in Uganda hear me. And maybe Kenyans also hear me. If you see France coming closer to your country, run. That's all I can tell you. Have I summarized it in short? If you see them, don't court them. Don't go closer to them. They give you money in one hand. They promote serious regime change. Is Bashir not regretting? Had he listened to my advice, where would Bashir be? He brought the money that overthrew Bashir came from Jamena, from Idris and Muhammad Faki. Muhammad Faki knows that there was a plan to overthrow, to regime change Bashir. That's why he's confused. Doesn't Muhammad Faki know that there was a legitimately elected, supported, equipped government in Tripoli? Why are we bombing it? Why is Africa quiet? Why is the entire Africa quiet? It's only me here shouting about it. And the government itself in Tripoli. It has accused France for supporting General Khalifa to overthrow and kill more Libyans. As if what they have not killed, as if what they have killed is not enough. They want to kill more. Because of Sarkozy and the wife. This is the pain we have received in Africa. Libya is a begging ball. We want to kill more in Libya when they are begging for medicine. We want to kill more in Libya when they are begging for textbooks. We want to kill more in Libya when they don't have administrative, their roads are blown up. We want to kill more when essential properties, essential goods in Libya, sugar, salt, spices are missing. We want to kill more when the water that Gaddafi had put there is missing. We want to kill more. And Africa is watching. We are killing. We want to kill more in Ambazonia. And nobody is condemning anybody in Ambazonia for the death that Paul Biya is inflicting on the people of Ambazonia. We want to kill more. That's France for you. People are more interested in goods, in minerals to take back home. But I'm telling you, time in this planet does not cheat. Therefore, on the question of Uganda, how do we finish Uganda?
We were in Uganda, we can, yes.
The question of Uganda, President Museveni is 73 years old. He's seeking to become the first president of the East African Confederation. His Excellency, I am just telling you why I was looking for you on the phone. One of the reasons is that. Watch out, this clip can hunger you out. That catch-22, okay, of the clause could buy you because you are being seen as a person violating the norms. The rest of East African states are having 2-term limits. We have several term limits until God calls us. On top of that, we have also opened our lives until something very catastrophic, something happens, then we can bring our lives back to thinking. So it is important that whoever is pushing this motion, umesikia, the motion towards the East African Court of Justice, is trying to block President Museveni's standing in the East African community. That's what I want to close on. Right. Unless you have any question, ask me.
No.
And yesterday,
yes,
Besigye is again in trouble.
Yes, with the government. What did he do this time?
I don't know.
Museveni needs to...
The question of Besigye and the President Museveni looks personal. So I've left it to God.
But when you
you see, I'm a Christian.
Now you're a Christian.
Yes, okay. I'm a Christian. Don't forget my father took me to Bishop Tucker College, Mukono, to study as a priest.
Okay, so now...
I still have those forms I filled until my uncles removed me. So we talk the truth. Museveni and Besigye have personal problem. They better solve it out, because every day you cannot be, picking your friend. Yet your friend injected you with medicine to survive. So I don't know.
He was his doctor.
Yes. So that's personal. It kills our name as Ugandans. We work with that tag. It's fine. This other younger man is the son. Not even the son. Maybe Natasha, the second born of the president. That's the age. That is their age bracket. Talk to him. Because if what these people want to achieve is to show the president in the world that he is not democratic. That's all. The point that they want to score by bringing that case to East African community, it will bring headlines. Why is this guy went to East African community to struggle for age limit? And why are East Africans choosing a person whose age limit was queried in East African High Court? They will not be naive. So if I were the president, I would calm down and address these things quietly, and I'd call my advisor strategic. That's why for me I was looking for him on the phone, and I will continue looking. I've given Rugunda up to Monday. I will be back. I'm Swajaniga. I will be back on the phone asking what is so far. This problem, you see, Uganda is creating the politics of martyrdom. We still go to Namugongo to pray. Christians, millions of Christians come to Namugongo, the shrine. Don't create a shrine in political science. President Museveni is creating a shrine, a martyrdom politics of martyrdom, where I win votes by I am the one killed, I'm being killed by someone, yet I'm fighting for you. Reconciliation at this hour is the best way out. Redemption, reconciliation, and say, okay, things have not worked. You will have your music play, sing your songs. What is wrong? If the president is popular, if this boy can sing his songs, which I don't like. For me, I don't like. I like dancing them. But as a man, a Bantu, who understands what he sings about, I'm not very comfortable. But I like dancing his songs. So, but if the president is very popular and he has got a track record, why don't he allow this boy to sing? And let's see. Unless there's a fear that you are not popular. Part of the problem is, even when this boy can take new fire brigade engines borrowed from Kenya, and they say the police, these are the fire engines that will quell in case there is a fire. The police might not accept. So what is the problem? Where is the problem? That's why I told Rugunda, where is the problem? Can we look for the problem, sir, and fix it? Konyi was more difficult, but I looked for Konyi with Rugunda, two of us, and Riak. We fixed him. It was difficult to talk to Konyi, who doesn't even know English. No good English. You have got to use the worst English of the lowest grade, mixed with Swahili, or use Luo. And I'm in Bantu. So I was caught in a catch-22. As a Bantu, I have to speak a bit of English and Swahili, and I got it. We got Konyi cooled down, came on table, met people, even greeted people, even came up in public, even came up to greet UN envoys. We have done this. But how many people had Konyi killed? Millions. This place, millions. They all died. Bobi Wine has not killed people yet. So why don't you talk to him?
He's not killed.
Before his biggest population start killing people.
I hope that does not happen.
No, you saw the Minister of Health, Mrs. Opendi, on TV saying they had written a circular warning all government officials to avoid government cars. So where are we heading? We are heading in a catch-22. So my people of Uganda, listen to me. take a leaf, let the president take one step forward. This young man is young, talk to him. Give him a few liberties with conditions. And say, please, if you want money, excess, come here. Because the president has excess money, he gives it out, I see, on weddings and so on. I am the only one who hated, who still loves him.
Bobby has his own money.
Yes. He gives 10 million, $20,000, 250, 200. Give me my money. $282,000. I will be very rich here. I've never got it.
But he does not attend the church services and offer.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, good.
It's church. The president is Anglican, like me. And he goes to Anglican church. So for us Anglican, except Ruto, we don't show what we give. Okay. But the deputy president here is showing, I don't know, these churches is going to have changed his ability. You get the point? Yeah.
All right.
Changed his ability.
Okay, well, viewers, we thank you.
We in our Anglican church, that's why we have even created a bag you put the hand inside, so that the people don't see. We used to put on the basket, but nowadays we have sewn bags. You put the hand inside.
I think a lot of churches have that now.
To drop in. So we don't know why people are displaying money. Nobody has answered my question. Do you tell the priest that I have stolen, can I return some? How many people do that? Then another man asked me that, a very bad question. I don't want to read it. The children are watching the TV. He said, did you tell your wife certain things? You know? That you have been committing adultery. Yes, people are very strange, you know. I suffer a lot of things. And you are laughing, Miriam. Maybe you are the one who told them to say so. Eh? Yeah. He said it, he wrote. That did you tell your wife? Eh?
Yeah, I think when you post such a question on social media, all kinds of people are going to respond to it.
No, but he said, another one has said here, it is Kenya's culture to donate in the church. No matter what, our former President Moi attended church for the whole years he reigned. God will judge for himself. Nobody is perfect in the world. Okay. That is Jeremiah Ngugi. Then another one said, as we speak now, the church is at its lowest in Kenya. God save our house. God save your house. Then another one says, Mr. Arab Kater. That one was not writing a good one.
Just read all of them. It must be really bad.
That is saying it's not very bad. J. Arab Kater says, most of you are international tourists, so you don't know how to make money. Ask the Zambian about the Kenya farmers. He's meaning the deputy president has got farms in Zambia.
No, is that what he's meaning?
Yes, that's. Haven't you seen the photographs of farms? They got a photograph of a farm which produces pilipili hoho. Is big like this. Have you seen?
The capsicums.
Yes. Oh. In Zambia, that he gets 24 billion per annum. Then he can lend some money to Zambian economy, which is.
So is it Kenyans or is it a specific person who is?
No, that's his farm in Zambia.
Because
they have put it on
I remember watching a clip of former President Kaunda really saying Kenyans is just a very interesting kind of people. They even took his suit, which is the Kaunda suit, and now it is named Kaunda suit here in Kenya. You know,
yeah, now we have gone there.
This is like Kenyans.
You know, there's good land in farming. There's good land in Zambia.
And they put his name on the suit.
Yes. Now we have farmers from Kenya have gone to Zambia.
And they're farming there.
Yeah.
Kenya are industrious. And maybe that is what is worrying a lot of East African countries like, Tanzania. I don't know how they do it there, but, Kenyans are very aggressive in seeing opportunities and going for it. So.
But Ugandans are never worried about the Kenyans. No. No Ugandan will tell a Kenyan, go home. No.
They're equally very industrious and aggressive.
Yes. No, we don't have that language in Kampala. No. In my village, there is a Kikuyu. There are 3 Kikuyus there.
Married or just business?
No, they are there. Not married. They are there. We have given them land. The ones who left after 2007.
Ah, yes.
They are there.
Yes.
Some of them, we helped them to settle.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
Nobody tells them to go home.
So that person that was settled in another country because they were uprooted from their own land, ancestral land, such a person, when you talk to them about this handshake, you think they'll understand? It makes sense.
That's why I'm telling you it is going to be a do or die.
Yes.
Because people are still not very comfortable. But Ugandans, Tanzanians, they have that sense of you call I'm a Ugandan. But in Kenya, if you ask someone, they said, mi natoka Rift Valley.
This part of the country, yes.
Oh, I come from Kisumu. I'm from Nyeri.
Okay.
What do you think about the appointments? Don't smile and leave.
The ones that I saw.
Because it looks like you're about to leave.
Are they real?
The real appointments?
Yes, I saw them on social media.
No, they are real.
So, but they do not reflect the face of Kenya.
So how did you know?
I saw them and I thought maybe it's not true.
Is it which faces are missing?
The face of Kenya.
Are you one of those?
I'm not one of those. I'm just a patriotic Kenyan, so I just want to see a Kenyan represented in its truest form and beauty. That's all. And diversity. That's all we need. Have I answered your question? Now we can go. And we'll see.
To where? No. That's
tomorrow. No, it does not. It does not reflect the face of Kenya. And that is the truth. We keep sweeping under the carpet. Yeah. I want to see somebody from Turkana Uko. I want to see somebody from, these are the marginalized communities. I want to see the true reflection of Kenya because we are diverse. We are, yes. So tribal matters aside, but, we need to see a reflection of a true Kenya.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. Read that. There you are. Read that.
Gabriel, and the last comment, you said, no, it was not Kony who were killing Uganda, and it was some 70 securities who were killing a Choli tribe at night time. Then in the morning, he sent the army to fake investigation, accused innocent Kony. Museveni is the biggest evil in Africa, and he's betrayed Africa to outside world. And also up there, he believed that Museveni is the one responsible for the instability in South Sudan. No, the Gabriel, shall break Gabriel.
Yeah, in Sudan, they don't like...
In South Sudan, yeah.
They don't... South Sudan, they don't like the president.
Yes.
Waswa wakwabubi.
And Bismarck Bura, you're saying the age-long rivalry between Anglophone world and Francophone countries for influence and resources will always cheer up Africa if the leaders don't open up their eyes. And that is very true. And you're saying Waswa, yes. is following from Nairobi, and something I saw earlier. Tekang Paulino, you're saying I was in high school and I love South Sudan. I think you were answering to one of our viewers up there. Let me just read. You're saying the peace in South Sudan still hold. Only the opposition requested the extension of the formation of transitional government of national unity. So after Tenny Poch posted that, I think a few of other South Sudanese were disagreeing with him, and they were having a conversation there. But he believes the peace is holding. Only the opposition requested for extension of time and for valid reasons, as we have seen. And so we're just praying that things will work out for South Sudan. And yes, you're welcome, Gabriel. Okay.
Thank you very much.
There comes a time.
Who is this saying thank you for reading? Gabriel. Yes, Gabriel, we read all these messages, and including those that insult us. We're happy. Someone woke up, there comes a time, and I went to church, brought all the greetings. Time comes for us to depart.
And
thank you very much. We look forward to seeing the hairstyle tomorrow. Even more organized, more. It's fantastic. I thought it was only me who had seen. But you know, there is a saying in African that the thing that you don't eat, you don't admire it too much.
That's very good. Who said that? That person.
It's an African saying.
That person was wise. Keeps you away from trouble. So we'll see you tomorrow.
No, tell Emeka.
Emeka already left.
Yes.
Went to church for the afternoon service.
That thing that you don't eat, run away.
Yeah.
Keep off trouble.
You're welcome.
Don't go closer. You can have sparks.
No, Omeka was just being kind, and thank you for the kind words. So, yeah.
No, Omeka outboxed me.
He did.
Because when I came in, I don't know what annoyance was on my heart. I could have seen
You walked here with annoyance.
Yes, I could have seen
brought annoyance close to me.
I could have seen the brightness of the eyes.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. It is coming tomorrow for Ramadan.
Yes, starting tomorrow.
We can't live without wishing our brothers in the Muslim community that Ramadan, Emeka is back again here.
Oh, no.
He's here.
Mama, they are here.
Yes, Mama, they are here. You are back again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our Muslim brothers, those who are starting to fast tonight or tomorrow, wherever it is, we wish you good luck. We wish you prayers. Pray for the nation. Pray for all of us.
And the world.
And pray for the world.
Yes.
Let's not have hatred, but have unity. Let's not have only unity, but have prosperity. Let's share, but not take all. And let's not give that money to the churches.
And while we do that, let's all be mindful of each other.
Telling the priest.
Okay.
Yeah, as you give the money to the church, tell the priest that
and then I stole
some of it came through a tender.
Okay.
God will love you so much. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you want to know how God loves. God can bring a trust, something here now.
Okay.
Here, one here. I'm going to teach you by the time you live here. When the whole year you learn Swahili, Uganda.
I've always wanted to learn that.
So welcome.
That will be a pleasure.
Welcome. Fall in the hands.
No. We'll see you tomorrow.
We need a Ugandan interpreter. There are girls on NBS. Anybody who has the number of the ladies who talk filtered, cut. With the two ladies have an invitation to come and perform in Kenya on our television. We want to charge the television. We want it for only 2 days. We shall hire them to talk a bit of things, we make it our show, a great show. So please, NBS, tell Zara and Natalia, are they? Those are the, you know, you have not watched Anacut, Uncensored, Unfiltered.
From them?
The Uganda, the Kenyan, Uncensored. If we mix, we want them to come here and perform, to take a show once.
Okay.
Of course, they are now celebrities. We shall look after your welfare.
Okay.
And then something will be, we want you to raise the status of our television, because we are linking it to another television next month. Or when we are actually, we want to sell our recorders free to view, to air decoders. So we want that moment for them to advertise. You know, the DSTV, I don't know, you have several channels, you challenged me. But me who has DSTV, I have a problem.
I love options. I function better with options. And Anthony Poche is saying, I think you meant one who eats alone cannot discuss the taste of the food with others.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
That's it.
The proverb, yes.
That's it. Yeah, but I meant also something that you don't eat, don't go closer to it, because it could become poisonous.
True.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Miriam, for having grace this Sunday. It's a bright Sunday this afternoon. We meet tomorrow at 11 East African Standard Time. Zimbabwe, South Sudan, Sudan, Cameroon, Uganda, Congo. Take care. Corruption in Kenya. The rift within the rift of the war against corruption. Who is talking from both mouths? The president tells us, let's push, get rid of corruption. The deputy president comes to say why Titu was
targeted.
The other time he said why Guru walks like a walk cat. Cat walk. And another time he said it's not 21, it's 7 billion. Now I see an application in the court of Kenya seeking that company has gone bankrupt. You saw that. So where are we? How will it? Surely, have you seen an insurance company where you deliberately throw the car in the water? It pays you?
If you collude with the...
Yeah, is this not colluding?
Collusion.
A bank guarantee will only be reviewed once the bank is satisfied that the money was properly used, the money did not go to any other duties or any other allocations, then the bank guarantee can come. Otherwise, that will be the longest history of legal tussle between the bank and you. So this money, unless there is, you tell me there is something, the underwriters of insurance, those insurance people, you see, a bank guarantee, before we go, Miriam, is like an insurance policy. You have taken an insurance policy. When you are taking the insurance policy, does the insurance man tell you, drive and knock the car, and even now, come back?
No.
Knock the car, gonga, and you come in the morning. That's why they introduced what we call premiums. If you pay excess, why do we pay excess? When you have bought a full comprehensive insurance for the whole year for COMESA, if you knock too many times, there is what we call excess. It means there is something what you are responsible. So I don't think someone can tell me we can't lose the money, the bank guarantee is there to guarantee the money. Then where did the money go?
Good question.
Where did the money go? This guy is now looking for 15% in order to move forward. So we have to dig again in the pocket. the people in Kenya have to dig in a pocket to give. Where did the money go? The first one. Well, it is up to the president said that the DCI do its work. But the DCI seem to be, I don't know, I've seen here, I don't see anything coming up now.
He's busy, he has a lot.
There is a conference in Kampala for the Commonwealth. A very serious conference in Kampala for the Commonwealth, where all anti-corruption tsars,
Caesars,
tsar, tsars, the bosses are gathering of Commonwealth, and Major Mutwalib is there. And I want to congratulate the president for having removed one man from anti-corruption. What is his name?
Mobea.
Mobea go where in Dublin? There is the Irish army.
I hear he was the most corrupt in the EACC, and now he's been given a job.
I don't know. I can't choose somebody. I only said I thank the president for having, the president told us not to be vigilantes.
Why are you thanking him? Because
him.
You know he was not good for the EACC.
No, because...
So how is he good for representing our country out there? No, surely.
I asked you whether you are happy with the list.
I told you I'm not.
Now you are coming.
Characters like that.
Yes.
Why would me as a Kenyan be happy for that? If you're removed there because you had issues, I can't speak a lot because I know enough. Yeah, and now you're going to represent my country. He was taken where? Is it
in a Catholic country. A country where Catholicism. Catholicism.
Will that even make a difference?
Where strictly people are very upset with corruption. Dublin, in Ireland.
I don't know what the president does when he makes this appointment. I don't even think he I don't know.
Oh,
anyway.
Our camera. So thank you very much. Our camera has given us a warning shot, blackout.
Yes.
Thank you very much. God bless you, but everybody. The conversation was beginning to heat up between me and Miriam.
I don't want to be annoyed. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Put it on
those appointments.
Yes. Are they worth?
Kesho basi.
Sawa. Asante sana. Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you for coming. Thank all of you. On behalf of Punchline Africa TV, the rest of the crew, everybody out there who has been supporting us, thank you very much. Keep it going. Keep it enjoying. Don't drink and drive. Drive safely back to work in Nairobi. Don't mess. Don't overlap. Don't overlap. Don't take over. When there is another car, you haven't seen what is ahead. Please drive with caution. It is wet out there. Reach home safely and always kneel before you go to your blanket to pray for God that this country's change, rise and shine again. Thank you.
That is Isaiah 61. Rise and shine. Rise. Rise for your light has come. Kesho.
What's...